speaking of episodes, let's talk about the latest episode of the Golden Bachelorette. Our Golden Bachelorette this year is Joan, and she is a widow of a few years now who is looking to find that next chapter of love in her life. And she's on the first season of the Golden Bachelorette. And how do you think it's going so far for her?
I think it's going really well. I think she has I don't think she has good options. I think she's making some connections. I think she's just easy to like talk to and get along with as well.
Yeah, she's very diplomatic. I think in how she talks to everyone. Maybe that's something you learn with age. You know what I mean? She seems to genuinely speak with
not
everyone.
necessarily.
I know, good point. But she does seem to give everyone that we see her talking to genuine attention, and it seems to be listening to them and giving them a shot, and giving herself a shot at love. This week was the very kind of like it was the very first week basically, except for that first limo episode. So we had 2 group dates and 1 one-on-one. They started off the guys. First of all, we got a lot of footage of the guys in the house, kind of like we did with the Golden Bachelor, seeing all the ladies.
Oh yeah, talking about having to share rooms and bunk beds and having to get up multiple times in the night to pee.
Pascal trying to find where a closet to fit all his stuff. Not only that, but a person who was willing to do his laundry for him.
Oh my gosh, I forgot.
Because he's claimed to basically, for all of his adult life, never have done laundry.
It must be nice.
And it's just like, come on, you can figure it out. But there's some gracious dudes in there and nice guys that did his laundry. I forget that guy's name, but he seems like a cool guy. The guy who's got the full kind of like wrap around facial hair that connects all the way up to his hair, but then he's kind of got a bald spot.
Christopher?
Is that his name?
I think so.
Something like that. He's a cool guy. Seems like a chill guy. And so that was cool seeing all the footage behind. It's not really behind the scenes, but just what mansion life is like for a bunch of older guys hanging out. I was saying we don't really get a lot of reality TV or TV content, period, with that many older guys just hanging out and being bros. That's wholesome, I guess. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
And so we had our first group date. And what was our first group date?
They went to prom. So cute.
Yep. We had the guys picked out and selected to go to prom and relive that kind of young moment as the senior adults. I think Joan called it their senior prom. And they rented out a school gymnasium, some crowd filler, so it wouldn't just be her and a bunch of older guys awkwardly standing. They had music playing.
I do have beef with whoever picked Joan's dress, though. I know they were trying to do like an 80s theme because the guys were in all these like multicolor suits and all this stuff, but they could have done way better on her dress, even in the 80s theme.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it was not it for me.
I think there's so much more to the 80s than just what you're thinking, though. But anyways, so they did all get, as you said, themed dress for the occasion.
Yeah.
You also, since you're just bringing up wardrobes you didn't like, you didn't like Jonathan's.
No, but
no undershirt.
I did not like that. I did not like that look.
Not just no undershirt. He didn't really have a dress shirt.
Yeah. But Jonathan did. I did come around a little bit on Jonathan through this.
Why is that?
Because he was saying how he didn't go to his senior prom because he went to a Catholic school and he was the only black person in the whole school.
That's what he said, yeah.
And he said that when it came time to go to prom, he asked a girl, and she originally said yes, and then like a week before she said no, never mind.
Right.
And he did not say it was because of racism or discrimination, but I think we can infer that's what it was.
Yeah, it was implied.
Yeah.
And he said it kind of affected who he was. For in the short time after that and long term, he didn't have a good experience. He didn't go to prom, and you can kind of tell he's a cool guy now. He's a
Mm-hmm.
good looking dude. Seems very healthy, very fit. Seems very smooth, and maybe that all stems from getting rejected last second going to prom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we'll talk about the rest of the day, but because of that, he ended up getting
Yes. Prom King, aka the group date roast.
right.
And they had a very intimate dance, I thought.
Yeah, Taylor Dane was the music guest,
Yeah.
and I didn't know who that was.
Same.
I had heard when she started singing that one song, which I've forgotten at this point. I remember going like, oh, well, that song sounds familiar.
Right.
But as for who she is, I was born in '93, so who knows who that is?
Youngster.
But they seem to appreciate it. Taylor
Yeah.
Dane is here.
Yeah,
Taylor's singing.
and Jordan had gone on a date with her.
Yeah,
What
Jordan.
is that?
He's too
How?
cool.
How?
He's so cool. I've been saying from night one, I was like, this guy's too cool for this show.
Yeah.
Not to say that Golden Bachelor, or whatever can't be cool, but I literally said, I don't know if I said it on the pod or watching it with you. I was like, I feel like this guy could have been cast on the regular one, and they would have been like, wow.
Oh my gosh.
And they would have been like, he's super old, but hey, you know
Oh
what I mean?
my gosh.
He dated Taylor Dane.
Wow. And then we found out that Gary is Tina Turner's godson. Okay.
Yeah, but that's one of those things. He should have gone on claim to fame.
Okay.
But yeah. So there's some people in the crowd, but he didn't. He okay. Well, he started off the dancing, so that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Gary just seems like a kind of fun-loving dude.
Seems fun.
Guy who's
like
gonna
he's
start
having
the
a
party.
good time. And he's so sweet and sentimental too.
Yeah, it was interesting. Speaking of Gary, they also had the guys and Jones pictures up from that 80s time period.
From their high school days.
Right. So seeing them much younger was really cool and really interesting. It's all the kind of stuff you want to see when you see these older reality stars. But
and just I feel like when you're dating someone, it's fun to go back and look at their old pictures. I think.
Interesting. So you went back and looked at my old pics.
Yes. You did too.
How old are we talking?
Oh, I like to see pics from your whole life.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, whatever.
No, I'm just joking. And so yeah, that was really cool. It was really interesting, and we got to learn. They took time to kind of show us a little more about some guys. Like, for instance, Charles was kind of sitting off to himself, and he said, since his wife died, it can be hard. He said he was an extrovert.
Oh, he was struggling, yeah.
Kind of outgoing guy when his wife was alive, and after she passed, he kind of turned inwards, and you could see that. And he seems like he's got funny one-liners. He's funny. He doesn't mind talking. In fact, he volunteered to take the bunk bed. He said, I might be one of the oldest, but I'm feeling pretty healthy. I'll climb up
He said,
there.
I might be one of those, but I'm the healthiest.
Right. So, and it kind of with a smirk on his face. He's a fun guy, but when it came to the prom, he kind of, said as much, not being able to do it with his wife sitting there, you know what I mean? Thinking about that. It's hard, which honestly looks like it could be a theme for this season.
Yeah. Well, then he went and talked to Joan about it and kind of told him where he was at, and she was very sweet, and she's like, I get it. I totally get it.
Right. They seem to be connecting in a friendship way. I don't see any sparks flying between them right now.
Yeah.
But oftentimes, as it happens, it's only been 2 seasons. It seems like when it's happened in the regular show. But when they have a lost spouse or lost partner, it's something regardless of romantic connection, they can bond over.
Yeah.
And that's happened a couple times, and we'll talk about it more when we talk about her one-on-one. But yeah, we got to see a little bit of the guys' personalities. I can't remember who I would say had the best dance moves. Maybe I'll default to Gary just because he started it off and didn't have any shame. But yeah, I think that was a prom date. And so after that, they had their one-on-one date. Well, she got to pick who she wanted to go on a one-on-one with, and our one-on-one dater this week is Cha.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've been saying I need to see some fun. He he seems like very he was all serious, and he said as much. He was seemed all business, all serious, and I'm like, finding love is more than like, all right, man, we're gonna go out there, meet the love of our life, treat her right.
He is giving high school football coach
Yeah, high school football
or
coach.
like football presenter.
Yeah. Kind of uptight, not uptight, kind of like, and not overly strict, kind of straightforward. Direct is maybe the best way to say it,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of serious. Now, this was an interesting date because their date was a trip to Disney World.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost as if that was a perfect date because she said as much. She was very serious. I want to see his silly side.
Right.
And he said, yeah, I, don't really let it out.
Mm-hmm.
But they
I
seem
can't
to
remember
connect.
what he said his reasoning for. What did he say that was just him, or did he say there was a reason for that?
He did say there was a reasoning, and I know, and I can see him, but I can't remember exactly what was said. I remember he kind of gave backstory on his life. He met a woman who he had his kids with. They had a mutual breaking off, but they had love and respect as parents to their children. Then he said later he met another woman.
Yeah.
Who he didn't specify if they got married because he said
No, I don't remember that.
He said I remember him saying we were planning to spend our lives together.
Mm.
And that could mean we got married and we're planning to do the long haul, or that could mean we weren't engaged, but we had settled into a partnership. Because then he also said when he found out she was getting sick, he found out from her son who called him. And that's, he could have been at work or something, you know what I mean? But I almost was like, oh, okay, maybe they didn't live together, you know what I mean? But they just had, anyways, he had a partnership with that lady who passed on. And so now he's looking for a lasting love after divorcing the mother of his children and his, I guess life partner passing on as well. So, he had an interesting backstory. I think he kind of explained, maybe in a sense his seriousness, in the sense that just like, hey, look, I'm trying to do this for real. You know what I mean?
Right.
I've had it. I've did the raising kids thing, had a family, had a like, you know what I mean? I need to find, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to just go on dates. It's basically
right.
But I don't know. I can't remember exactly how I explained it. What are your thoughts on Chalk?
I like Chalk. I thought he was going to be a front runner from the beginning just because he has like a presence, I feel like, of like strong, independent man type of thing that I feel like Joan likes. So yeah, I like it. I'm glad she saw that happy, fun side of him. I think he's a front runner.
I'm interested. You talk about what Joan likes to get a better feel on what she likes, because in my world, Chalk just seems like such a Southern gentleman type. That doesn't seem to vibe well with like a Pascal, and even that is a kind. Well,
I truly thought Pascal was going to be gone this week.
Yeah.
Because when they had that party, then they have, instead of a cocktail party, they have like a pool party.
Yeah.
And he takes her inside and shows her his closet with all his designer stuff. I don't know. For me, that would probably be the like, okay, we're kind of in two different worlds. Like, let's pull the plug on that. But I don't know. She might have liked that.
Yeah. It's interesting because as the closer she gets, or the more she shows that she's in the Chalk and Keith, these kind of big booming voice, traditional man kind of stereotype, or prototype or whatever you want to call it. I'm like I think his name was Jack, the guy who was jumping in the pool and singing, and now the end is near. Like him and Pascal are kind of the more flashier.
Yeah.
If I had to divide it on just those criteria,
and she did send Jack home.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then like Guy, he's the guy. His name is Guy from Reno. He almost seems a little pretty boy.
Yeah.
You know, he's like he's a
I
doctor.
can't remember. Did he get a rose?
Yeah.
Okay.
He lives in Nevada, so you know what I mean. I'm just trying to get a better idea. But
Well,
he is
she
big.
said she said on her date with Chalk she liked a gentleman. She liked that he pulled her chair out for her. Her husband would always do that.
And he said that he reminded her.
Oh yeah.
She reminded him of his life partner that he lost.
And she was like, you know what? That's really sweet. Like, for someone to be so special to you and for me to remind you of them. And I thought that was a really good perspective.
You know, that's very interesting. I'm not sure that I would. I don't know how I would take that.
I know, me either.
Because I wouldn't, and that he meant well by it. And I think what he was saying, the good qualities of Jane, I think is what her name.
Joan? Oh, his yeah.
You remind me of them. But it's almost just like you don't want to be someone's just replacement dead spouse.
Well, for sure.
And
for sure.
I'm fully confident that is not what he was saying. But I'm just saying I would be kind of aware, like, am I just a replacement?
That's true.
Or are we forging a new relationship
That's
together?
true. That's a good point.
Because when I show qualities that are different from hers, is that going to turn you off?
Right.
Not bad, like, you know what I'm just saying? But, like,
right.
If she liked hot dogs and I prefer burgers, you're going to be like, that's not what Jane would do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
No, you're right.
That can happen if you're not careful. So
that's true.
Like I have tons of experience with widows or whatever, but so yeah, it's just that I think that's what I'm interested to see is where are her tastes, where are her preferences going to lead her, because we don't have much to go off of.
Yeah.
And I guess that's how it is with most leads, but especially with her since she left the previous season early. But Disney was an interesting date. It was definitely product placement, ABC is owned by Disney currently, and so we got to see the fireworks and the shows and whatever. But
and she had on a pretty princess dress.
Yeah, didn't she say, "Oh, I felt like a princess"? I was like, "Did you have a marketing team tell you to say?"
I'm sure
it exactly that way. It was it was a commercial, but it seemed like it was actually of the dates to go on. I could see how that could be a fun date.
For sure. We did that.
No kids. Yeah, we did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I don't know. I think I'm going to slot him into a front runner. First home one-on-one is a good sign that you're on the radar.
Yeah.
And Gary picked his first one-on-one. His first one-on-one was with a lady he liked.
Teresa.
Whose spouse had also died. They connected on that.
Yeah.
Bam. That's who he picked.
True.
This is the exact same script. So I'm wondering if we're heading down that same road.
True.
Now, after that date, speaking of Chalk being very presenter, giving like a, I don't know. Yeah, I think like news anchor vibe almost. He, and gentlemen, I have in this card our next group date, Rose.
Oh, yeah.
Because we had another group date, which was the infamous Bachelor Nation talent show.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about the talent show.
And this is interesting in the sense that I think when what I'm trying to say is what I like about seeing these older seasons is we've got people who have lived their life. You can tell that they're kind of more confident in who they are.
Yeah.
Maybe not of where they're at in life, but they know who they are. And so they know, hey, I'm going to get up there and I'm going to make a fool of myself. Or I'm going to get up there and I'm going to tell sock puppet jokes and not get embarrassed. I'm going to get up there and sing a song that I wrote 2 weeks ago.
How silly that Jack, who came in singing, decided to do sock puppets instead of sing. Like, that's your thing, to sing.
I almost wonder if they're like, Jack, we will pay for Sinatra. You know what I mean? But if you got this, if you're going to sing a song, we have to get licenses for that.
I guess.
So we can you can sing a song you made up. He's like, well, I don't write songs. I just sing them. Or maybe, which I think would be even better, because he sang that same song multiple times now.
Yeah.
Maybe Jack is like, that's just his go-to. That's the only song he sings. Karaoke, everyone's like, we know what Jack's singing.
So he's like already done that, have to do something new.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's his, like, he's not a singer. He just really loves My Way by Sinatra, So he did the sock puppets. What is the name of the gentleman, Kim, who had said, "Well, 2 weeks ago, thinking about this. What if there's a talent song? I wrote a song for people who are just kind of getting acquainted with the People's Rose and what we got going on here. I cannot handle cringe at all. If something remotely
Oh,
cringeworthy is happening or embarrassing on TV, I literally put
he does.
my hands in
Like
my
a
ears,
child.
cover my eyes, and go la 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 la. So I don't want any
And then he's
memory.
like, "Is it bad? Is it bad?"
I
I'm
truly
like, "Come
don't want.
on."
I don't want any recollection of how cringy that
So
is.
I will say Kim did sing his song, and I thought it was sweet. He wasn't like the best singer, but he wasn't the worst. You could tell it was genuine and it was from the heart. But you can also tell he's not used, I think, and I could be wrong. He's not really used to like losing in life, and so he didn't handle it very well that he did not win the talent
I
show.
think he handled it moderately well because
Well,
he didn't really throw
sure.
a fit.
Sure.
But he did express his frustration.
Yeah.
Because he started turning it up. We're here to find love. And you're like,
Yeah.
no, sir, you just lost the
They
talent
like
show.
all got back to the mansion, and he's like, "Well, I mean, I'm not happy because I'm only here to spend time with Joan, and I don't get to do that."
Yeah.
And everyone was kind of like, "Oh, okay."
And I think the thought of like, because he said he wrote the song 2 weeks ago, coming in with prepared material and losing to a guy who did, I mean, and we'll get to him, he had a good reason, but losing it to a guy who twirled streamers can make you go like, okay, what the heck? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was, again, I have no idea what his song sounded like. I said it on the podcast a couple episodes. The most embarrassing thing you can do is to sing in public. And more power to him. But we had that. Of course, we had the guy who, like I said, who ended up winning, getting the group date rose and more time with Joan, who had trimmers.
I can't remember his name, sadly.
Is it I almost want to say Dan.
That might be right.
Trimmers, and it was genealogical. The trimmers that he has.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't like nervous, even though he was nervous. He was nervous because of the trimmers.
Yeah.
He wasn't getting trimmers because he was nervous, as he puts it. And I think it was kind of clever. He was like, well, hey, this is perfect for
Let me use this to my advantage.
Right. So he did a little dad streaming.
It's great. I mean, it was funny. He wasn't like he was out there trying to like be the best rhythmic gymnast out there.
And then and he ends up winning. He connects more with Joan. She likes that too because she also was nervous with her thing. Some people tried to do what she did and read a poem, but it's like, been there, done that, people. But he ends Wednesday, spend more time. Do I think he's a front runner? I don't think so, but they seem to have at least a connection. Other talents we saw on display, I think we're saying his name was Christopher. We could be dead wrong. People could be like, who is that guy? I think he's from North Carolina.
You're talking about the black guy.
No. Oh, there's Christopher. But no, I'm talking about the white guy with the beard that's like super, whatever his name is. I was like, his name is, don't feel like his name was Christopher.
I don't remember.
But I'm looking at the cast as I say this. But anyways, he did stand up. And I thought it was pretty good. He had a joke that I wanted to remember, but I did not. I was like, that wasn't half
Something
bad.
about all the guys snore. Oh, having untreated, what's it called? Sleep apnea.
Yeah. But he set it up. He did it in a much better.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think of the notable ones that I remember, we saw the behind the scenes of some people juggling, but I don't think he made that huge of an impact. But I think that was all from the talent show that we saw that was impact worthy, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
It would have been interesting to see some of his name is Greg, 64.
Oh, Greg.
From Longboat Key, Florida.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he seems really cool. Oh, I take that back. His fun fact is he wears flip flops 90% of the time.
Ew.
Oh, we're back in the green. He loves root beer. And so how is he going to finish it out? Recently traveled to Rwanda to hike with gorillas. Now that could go either way.
Interesting.
So,
Joan wants to travel, so that might work out well for her.
And he's a retired university vice president, so he's retired, has free time,
Mm-hmm.
and he was a university president. So as far as I know, that makes substantial. I mean, they don't make chump change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Depending on the university, so he's got the money to.
Right.
Oh, and he traveled. He hiked with gorillas.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're really gonna have a spark. Greg is there. So that was the talent show date.
Mm-hmm.
Leads up to the cocktail ceremony, and I think basically who expected to go home went home, except Pascal stayed. You think they're gonna try to make Pascal kind of not a villain, but kind of like a why is he still here?
Probably.
I think so.
Kind of like a producer pick.
Yeah, I could see that happening because also depending on how certain she is on a guy, who knows how many of these are just producer picks?
Yeah. I will say at the little party, the pool party before, Mark and her had their first kiss, and
yes, we gotta talk Mark.
I think Mark might be going a little slow for her.
You think so?
I don't know.
Because she said like you should have asked sooner.
What? No, I don't know. He just has a cadence about him that seems slower than like Keith or Chalk. And I don't know if she likes that. But she did seem to really like the kiss.
Yeah. I think the producers are really pushing him.
Same.
Since he is Kelsey's dad.
Same. And because with Matt James's mom was kind of a flop.
Huge flop. I don't think she made it past night one.
Yeah, I don't think she did.
So, yeah, it'll be... it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out with him. But I don't think there's a connection. They kissed. They had a good kiss. But I don't see it as anything more.
There might not be a spark.
Yeah. I'm not feeling it between them for some reason. But yeah, no, good call out. I did like that barbecue because wait, why did that happen? They had that in lieu of a cocktail.
Yeah, it was one of those no cocktail party.
Right. And so
the only person in the pool was Jack.
Right. I loved, and I think it must have been cold when they filmed this.
Maybe.
Because why wouldn't a bunch of guys want to go jump in the pool?
I don't know. Maybe they don't want to show their chests.
But a lot of them have good bodies or whatever. Jonathan and Jordan both look like they are actively working out right now.
True.
And then aside from that, I loved the shots of them grilling and doing, because that's the thing about grillers and cooking, and everyone's got their own little things that, like, in their family, it's like, well, you know how dad loves to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But in every other family, it's like, your dad was what?
Mm-hmm,
you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He injects mustard into the hot dogs? Like, that sounds horrible. But it's a fun, quirky thing your family might do, right? So he's cooking, and this was a little weird, putting the barbecue on the burgers. And Jack was like, I don't know why you would ever do that. Christopher's like, well, these are how we do it in New York. I'm like, Christopher, please don't put that on that whole state. And I love, what's his name? Is it Bob? Who's the tall kind of dorky guy?
Yeah, I think his name's Bob.
When he was like, oh, I wonder, he's like, you know what Joan says she likes? Grease fires. I was like, okay, this guy, he's hilarious. He's probably got a lot of quirky dad jokes, but I can tell right now that he is hilarious, and I hope he makes it far. But he actually got sent home to this.
Yeah, I think he did.
He got sent home. Jack, of course, got sent home.
Oh, yeah.
Christopher got sent home.
Yeah.
And now I'm gonna miss Jack.
Remember at the end when Jack was singing and Christopher came up and started singing with him?
Yeah. Try to get a little harmony going.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that was the best singing or rendition of that song, but I thought it was cool. So far, no fireworks, no drama, no hatred. The closest we got to that was Kim being mad the guy with streamers won and not him.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't shown any of that in the preview, so we could just be heading towards the amicable season.
Yeah.
I think even the ladies had drama on Golden Bachelor, huh?
Yeah. Zip it.
Exactly.
Zip it.
So the fact that we're just going, guys chilling out, I think settled the age-old debate, huh?
Oh, brother.
Anyways, so that's where we stand. On that's the latest on the Golden Bachelorette. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay. In addition.